The American Red Cross is in urgent need of Black and Latino blood donors to help people suffering from sickle cell disease. The Red Cross says they need all blood types. Sickle cell is a blood disorder that causes red blood cells to break down into a crescent shape. The Red Cross says the Alabama region requires more than 160 blood donations per day. The organization says they also need local groups to host blood drives.
Because schools and colleges, we normally would use those venues for blood drives, but because of the recent pandemic, all of those blood drives are now canceled. And the need for hosts and outside organizations to help the Red Cross is very needed.
If you'd like to donate or host a drive, just visit rocketcitynow.com for more information.